I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into the vibrant flavors and culture of Southern Europe with Janisa J. Brunstein's exceptional cookbook and travelogue. She is an executive chef, an artist, and a polyglot, and she takes us on a unique culinary journey through Spain, Italy, France, and Greece. Her book not only offers delectable recipes, but also rich narratives of history, culture, and personal encounters as well. It is beautifully accompanied by vivid photographs of places and food that she has experienced firsthand. We're delighted to have Janisa join us here today on Spotlight, and we thank the folks at Authors Reputation Press for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel. The name of the book is From Boiling Water to Master of the Southern European Cuisine, a travelogue. It is written by Janisa Brunstein. Janisa, thank you so much for joining us here.
My pleasure. It's a pleasure for me to meet you.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine, and loved your book. From the recipes to the stories to the history to the photographs, it really has something for everyone. And I'm actually planning a trip to Europe in September. I'll be there for a month. So for somebody like me who's thinking about traveling abroad, this is great. For somebody who's not, well, here are some recipes you can eat, at least like you are abroad. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this work.
Well, I have the passion of cooking for me developed it when I was very young. I was a little girl, 3 years old, when I started liking it and taking all the pots and pans from the cabinets of my grandmother and mixing sugar with milk powder and make believe that I was cooking. And also, my grandmother, the other grandmother, she had a restaurant, so I was there watching everything and what they do, how they manage. And my grandmother was such a good worker, and this is what I inspired me. And also, I have been traveling since I am a little girl because my parents, they were traveling. I live in Brazil for a couple years because my parents were studying there. My mother is a physician and she was studying the specialty dermatology, and my father he was studying transportation. He's an engineer, a specialist in transportation. So we were there for a couple of years. I went to middle school there, a couple of years in high school. Then we left and we went to Argentina, and also I came to Walt Disney when I was also very little. And like I said before, I used to love the country pavilions there. I mean, it was fantastic. I was so amazed. I said to myself, when I grew up, I'm going to visit all these countries. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to share with the readers of this book. It make them imagine what it is. If they don't come, if they don't go, they cannot go. At least they see an imaginary journey around Southern Europe, and if you go, you have all the tips, where to go, what to do, what to ask, and the restaurant, what food to ask for. And I show amazing places, and and magnificence like the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, the church. That is something that when I saw it, I was so impressed. It's like unbelievable how the mind of an artist like Gaudí can design such a thing like that. It was like unbelievable for me, unreal. And so many places like Portugal, what they eat, mostly fish and cod, and the people and the places, and what do they have in those places, like what is the beauty in those places. And the same with Spain, with many cities in Spain, and Italy, where to go, the markets, where how the markets are and the people. Because when you visit markets, you understand the people of that region, of that country, by you going to those markets. And I mean, there are so many places that I want to share to the people. I want to say, go to this place because this is magnificent. This is fantastic. And those places, we don't have it here. We just don't have it.
Right. We have a little taste of this, a little taste of that. It's not the same. And like you said, these markets that they have in Europe are just incredible. Fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and fresh meats and produce. And they're wonderful. And people shop every day for their dinner as opposed to going to a supermarket and buying for a week at a time. It's a different lifestyle. It's a different culture. And you've really captured it in your book. Let me ask you to pick favorites here. Of all the different cuisines in Southern Europe, do you have a favorite?
You know, I love everything. I love food. I am very skinny. I don't know how, but I love food. It's a passion for me. And when I go abroad and I try this or that, I come home and I said, I can make it even better. My husband said, for 3 months in a row, I haven't eaten the same thing for 3 months. And then he said, and for 1 week, I eat the same thing because she's trying to make it better, you know, to add something here and there. And this is my passion to travel combined with the cooking and the cuisine, the gastronomy of each country and the culture. I mean, the fine arts, galleries, the theaters, the dance, the music, you know, like the flamenco dance, and then the sorba in Greek, and that they dance around the fire, you know, the sorba, and it's very, very beautiful. And in my book, all of this is there. Even how to go, the highway to take to go to here, you know, and what they have at the end of those plains, you know, the cottages. And this is what I wrote in the book. And I always said, if you cannot go, at least you have an idea of how it is, you know. And I always said, okay, you have an imaginary journey to this. And besides that, it is the you know, the flavors, the abundance of flavors that you're gonna encounter. Because the food is fantastic. It's made from scratch. If you can go to small little restaurants, and then like in Italy, a small little restaurants run by the families, and you get there, and even if they don't have nothing in the menu that day, you ask, can we eat here? And they say yes, and they go to the backyard and grab everything fresh and come, and they make a dish that is in no time you have something so delicious, you know, because the fresh of the fruit. And I believe that the products and the vegetables in Southern Europe, they have so much flavor because the soil. When the Arabs went to Spain, like 700 years before, and they encountered the soil. They said they found like gold, because they start introducing the food and the vegetables, and like you said, like I said, the vegetables are so delicious. I don't know here. I don't know if because it's in they grow in greenhouses or they grow in the soil that is very very wet. But the soil there produces something so good.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a different culinary experience from start to finish, that's for sure. Tell me a little bit about the photography in your book. It's very, very beautiful. Did you take those pictures? Did you have somebody with you?
Yes, I
You took
take
those
those.
pictures.
Yes.
Wow.
Everywhere I go, I have my camera in here, and I even if I see, the facade and the building that is impressed for me, I take the picture, and even everything, the fruits or the cottage or the if you see like a Victorian building, so you take the picture. Everything is a take a picture, and after that I start selecting, the ones that they are better. And but if I would have more space in my book, I couldn't have no space for all the photos that I take.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have never the space in my book for all the photos.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, there's always, it's a sequel. You could always write more, use more pictures, more recipes, travel to different countries. That's for sure.
And I'm gonna, excuse me, once I would say that the recipes that are in my book are from scratch. The many recipes are from people. They have from people of that region. They have given me those recipes, and if you follow, all the recipes comes out the way that I intended. All of them. I have some gluten-free, dairy-free, like cakes, because that nowadays many people cannot eat wheat or cannot eat dairy, so I have many ways how to make cakes in a way that you can make a cake just like if it was a cake made with wheat flour or dairy. So I have a way to transform that, and the cake comes out the same way that you will find it. Yes. So I know. Yes.
You're making me
And
very
also,
hungry talking about
I'm
this
sorry?
food. It's lunchtime here. You're going to make me starve, but it sounds terrific. Is there a recipe in your book that has a special significance for you, or is your favorite? Tell me a little bit about that.
I would say that maybe the Italian food, because since I was like 8 years old in my house, like I said, I used to love to cook, and then I was reading recipes. I have a lot of friends. I am from Venezuela, and I had a lot of friends from Italy. So I used to tell my father during the weekends, buy me those ingredients, and I would like to make like a bologna sauce or a pasticcio, which is also an Italian dish similar to lasagna, but I love it better, the pasticcio. So I said, I used to cook a lot of Italian dishes because my friends used to teach me how to make. I also have another Italian recipe. I don't think I just added to my book, but if people want to communicate with me to the blogs or to the email, through the email, they can, always send me some questions, and I will answer with all, what I can answer. But they can always try to, send me whatever they think they need to know, and I would try to answer as I can.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
It seems to me when it comes to Italian food, the secret is in the sauce. If you have a great marinara sauce, that's where you begin, right? Any tips for the folks at home, like what you should put in that marinara or pomodoro sauce to make it extra delicious?
The pomodoro and the and the marinara, the best way to make a homemade, it is to use some Marzano tomatoes.
Okay.
Yes. And also another tip is to cook in a low flame for more hours.
Yeah.
Cover, and I make it always using earthware,
Yeah.
pot and low flame for more hours, because that way you will try to eliminate the acid on the sauce. Another way is to add a carrot, and carrot make it a little sweet, and add a little sweetness to the sauce and eliminate it, decrease the acid on the sauce.
Okay, that's all good advice. Sounds good. Like I said, I'm going to be so hungry by the
Yes.
time this interview is done. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about the process of writing this book. When did you start your journeys? When did you start collecting the information? When did you start writing it down? All that.
Oh, I always was a fan of Anthony Bourdain.
Okay.
Yes, so I used to watch all his shows.
Yeah.
And I love the way he was, he was going to this place and he was trying here. He was talking with people,
Yeah.
and he was very friendly, to if he was in this country. So that inspired me. And I said, I can do that by writing it. I can write wherever I go, and also that way I can share to the people all these places that I have been. And so he inspired me in a way to start writing my book.
That's great. Have you thought about doing something like he does, like maybe having a video or a show or something like that?
Yes, I have been, and I really would like to be like Antoine. Antoine would say.
Exactly. Well, I think it'd be great. You've got a big personality. You know how to cook. You know a lot about traveling. You speak many languages. I think you'd be a great cultural ambassador on television to explain to people, why this is significant, why this is good, why this is delicious. So I think you're doing the right thing there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. What was your favorite part of putting this book together?
The favorite part
of putting this book together, of collecting the recipes, collecting the stories, the histories, the pictures?
Because in every place that I was, in every country that I was, I always was visiting the market, or I always visit the market. I see, like in Italy, like in Rome, I was in the market, which is called Montefiore. And then I was there, and I saw the ladies buying all the products, and I was asking them, how is the way that you cook? They said, we buy everything fresh, the way, for the recipe or for this dish that we are going to make for the day. So I'm trying to add that in my book. And in the way that I compile everything was from the first country that I was, and introduce how the culture there is, how the people there is. And I would say everyone everywhere, the people are friendly if you treat these people the same way. People are friendly, and everywhere you go, you can make friends. I have made friends from every country. I have been making friends, and I continue the communication through Zoom or WhatsApp. We talk, and I said, okay, probably in this time I'm gonna go and visit you. I'm gonna go and we're gonna enjoy. Like in Palma de Mallorca. I was in Palma de Mallorca, which is so beautiful, and many actors and actresses has their, their places there. The house is so beautiful, and the people there are so friendly, and the food, the seafood fresh from scratch. They come with the paella, or the paella with the calamari ink. That is a little heavy, but if you try a good wine, this is heaven. So everywhere you go, you can make friends.
Yeah.
You can make friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every country, the people are great. It's the governments that get in the way, unfortunately.
No,
But the people,
it is not the government.
right.
It is
It's
for
the people.
you to apply diplomacy.
Exactly.
And then to apply diplomacy.
Exactly.
And I would say one thing, that if a young person, if any young people, they cannot go to college, and they own a credit card, and they want to learn, they can go around the world.
Yeah.
The world opened the eyes. The world, if you have a narrow vision of the world, you can expand that, because it is not what we have in here in front of our forehead. It is more open. And I would say, if you go, you always can learn something that you can come to America and build it here and apply here, and that will be successful. Because here we cannot find many things that we find there. Even if you like to cook, you go there, you try here, and you can come and start your own business. I would say that we learn by trying.
Right.
We learn by trying.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We learn by trying. I also think food is a great ambassador. Like, it really bridges the gaps. It brings people together. I mean,
that's another thing.
Go ahead.
Yes. I entertain a lot of people at home. Always. I like to entertain people. And when I do that, I start everything that I cook from scratch. And I say, well, this, when I buy people, I said, we are going to go to imaginary trip to Italy today. So everything I cook that day, it is Italian.
Wonderful.
Everything is going to be Italian. So then I said to myself, with the people that we love, we can shake hands and look at their eyes, because there are people that don't. And in that table, the wine is a poem.
Right. Absolutely. That's beautiful. It's well said.
Yes.
Wine is a poem. Yeah, it brings it all together and adds a lot of feeling to it. A lot of, that really breaks down the barriers. Food breaks down the barriers. Wine breaks down the barriers even more.
Yes.
Music surrounding
Yes.
the whole bit. It's a whole, it's all part of it.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
You got it right.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Which do you prefer when it comes to cooking? Do you prefer the contemporary culinary trends, or some more of the traditional cooking methods? Tell me a little bit about your culinary journey.
I mix a lot of stuff, and I can make my own dishes. I remember once that I am very good with sauces. I can invent a lot of sauce. So once I was cooking a Cornish hen, and I roasted, and I make a sauce based on tamarind, the tamarind fruit.
Yes.
And it was with that and thyme, and it was so delicious. Nobody never experienced in their life. And it was a success. And the lady, I was preparing like a personal chef. The lady where I went, that was in New York City, and they were so delighted with that sauce. They said, Janisa, you and your sauces. You
That's
understood.
quite a compliment. The sauce is
Yes,
what makes every dish pretty
yes,
much, right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes,
You also have a catering and event planning business called La Cuisine de Janisa.
yes.
Tell me about
I
that.
Yes, La Cuisine de Janisa is more to, I dedicated more to make appetizers
Hmm.
for La Cuisine de Janisa. And those are because this is the trend. Mini, mini, mini meals,
Yeah.
very decorated artwork in a very small little sample.
Yeah.
So this is what I do. I have been doing that in New York City with many, like parties from people in the city,
Hmm.
and they love that. They really
Yeah.
do. They love that, and so this is one of the thing. I really don't make like big meals. Only just entertain like 30, 50, no more than 60 people.
Hmm.
But because it takes a lot of time for you to make all these mini dishes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mini
Mhm.
dishes, the tapas, the appetizers are always my
Yes.
favorite. You
Yes.
get a
And
lot of
sometimes I
different
create my
flavors.
own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I create my own. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Imaginary.
they are a lot of work. It's easier to cook one big plate than
Yes.
5 or 6 little
The
plates, right?
mini.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's definitely delicious. Well, this journey began when you were just a child, a little girl mixing up flour and water and sugar in her mom's kitchen, to now traveling the globe and putting all of these recipes, all of these experiences, all of these photographs into a book. And it's a wonderful book. And you have aspirations to be a TV chef, and I think that's a wonderful aspiration. And I think it's very well suited for you with your personality and your presence and your experience and your expertise. Anything you'd like the folks at home to know before we leave you today, Janisa?
That I am writing my second book.
Okay.
Yes. And my second book is about the United Kingdom.
Hmm.
The dishes that they like, and they have a lot of communities. They have the big large Indian community,
Hmm.
right? They have a large Muslim community,
Yep.
and I try the Indians, there, and then the Arabian food there,
Hmm.
and it is very, very good.
Great.
And that you cannot escape the fish and chips.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's
yeah,
kind of like that's like their hamburger, fish and
yes,
chips, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
fish and yeah,
And is there a secret for good fish and chips? I guess it's in the batter and in the oil?
yes, yes. The
Yeah.
butter. I use beer.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Sounds good.
I use beer.
A little beer
And to
batter.
many dishes, like if I make a stew,
Uh-huh.
I use beer.
Okay.
I
Sounds
use
good.
beer.
Beer
Mm-hmm.
batter makes it better. That sounds great.
Yes.
The name of this book is From Boiling Water to Master of the Southern European Cuisine, a Travelogue. It is a great book. It is filled with stories. It is filled with history. It is filled with recipes. It is filled with photographs. You will feel like you have journeyed all over Southern Europe without ever leaving home. If you are planning on traveling around Southern Europe, this is your perfect how-to guide and where to go and what to eat and what to see and what to experience. And if you're just comfortable at home and don't want to get on that plane and make that big trip, Janisa J. Brunstein's book is there for you as well, because you will feel like you've been there. Janisa, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. My pleasure. It's to meet you.
Oh,
To
pleasure
meet
is
an
all mine.
actor. I never met an actor before.
That's fun. That's fun. Well, I enjoyed meeting you as well. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.
Thank you so much.